Welcome to this week's Food Sport Central, the podcast of the World Food Championships. I am Mark Conway, and man, we're at that point where it's coming down to weeks. We were at months, now we're at weeks, because we're sitting at the really closing in mid-September. In a couple of weeks, we'll already be in October. Leaves are falling, the temperatures are changing. And we always know that that's kind of the first ingredients going into the pot of getting to the main dish, which is the World Food Championships in November. And while this is going to be the 10th anniversary, it's going to be bigger than anybody could have ever expected. We have so many new things happening. We have tons of local Dallas flair coming in and some people from the Dallas food scene that are absolute legends that are coming in, as well as, people from all around the country that are Food Network stars and things like that. So this year is definitely going to be the biggest yet. Don't forget, we've got Best of the Fest, Battle of the Burgers. We have all these cool things that are going to take place that are going to bring crowds in. They're going to bring people in. And a lot of you are taking part in demos because we're going to have a culinary showcase, or you're going to be sampling to the public for a People's Choice Award. So with all of that activity, and we touched on this and actually really talked a lot about this last week, this year's World Food Championships is really, truly becoming more global. I mean, that's the first word in the name, World Food Championships. This year is really going to hammer home just how diversified across the world this competition has become. We met the person who put on the Japanese burger battle last show, and this show, we're going to stay in that vein, and we're going to talk to another burger battle. But this burger battle took place in Dubai. And I know everybody's been really excited to hear more and more about this global influence, and the more the competitors spread out, and it gives you a chance as a competitor to go in and compete against the best in the world and really know where you stand against the best of the best from all over the world. So this week, I have the absolute pleasure, and again, I'm learning my time zone hopping, which can be a challenge when it goes from a matter of a few hours to an entire day difference. But we are talking to Sultan Chatila from Dubai, and man, it is an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Mark. It really is my pleasure to be on your show, and I'm super excited to be part of this global event. It really is gotten Dubai going crazy. I mean, we're all very excited. I'm super excited and lucky to be the winner and joining you soon.
And I got to see footage from the event. I got to see a lot of the workup of the event. I actually got to send a message to the competitors. And the one thing that I noticed is, man, I was like, what am I going to see? What to expect? It looked like home. It looked like chefs in a kitchen getting ready for a kick butt competition. And it was like, yes, this is food sport. What kind of got you into this? Man, I'm going to compete and I want to win this burger battle to go to the States and compete at the World Food Championships.
Look, it's a great question. Honestly, I mean, I'm a passionate chef. I have a day job, but I also pursue my passion as a chef. I run a supper club in an underground dining experience in Dubai called Tanos at 8. You can find it on Instagram. And my specialty is not burgers. That's not my thing. I love burgers. I love to eat burgers. But I took it upon myself when I saw the excitement behind the World Food Championships event to challenge myself and just, throw myself in there. And I managed to learn so much through the process. And basically, I had so much fun through the journey itself. And that was, the biggest, I think, value out of it. And I'm super excited to be with you.
And, that's the thing. When I saw some of the footage from the battle, you guys put out some amazing burgers. We're not just talking about, okay, I'm going to put a burger, cheese, lettuce, tomato. There was so much finesse. So many flavor profiles were represented there. And, the crowd that was there was just going crazy for this burger battle. And you mentioned you're doing kind of underground supper clubs, which are probably one of the most popular things when it comes to the food world, is to find an underground supper club. What got you into cooking in the first place?
Well, it was I've always, loved to cook. Both my parents, I grew up, both were some, home cooks in a way, but I kind of took it to the next level through my love for food. And I think, you've said it in at the event when you talk to all of us. Food is a language of the world. It's a language of love in a way. You express love through food. And that's how I got into it. And I'm self-taught. I've been doing it for 10 to 12 years. And I've just grown from there, really. And like you said, I mean, the burgers in Dubai in general are a big deal. There's a burger shop at every corner. Everybody's trying to make the best burger out there. And when I first went in, I'm like, I have no chance. But I just went all in, and that's what happened.
So you go in, burgers are not your kind of signature dish, and you say, I'm going all in. What were your winning burgers?
So I started off with a smash burger that was a double smash burger with what's it called? Monterey Jack cheese. That was the first one. A special sauce, caramelized onions, kind of simple, but really well done smash. And then what I realized is everybody is doing smash. Smash is a trendy thing. And what I won that round, but for the next round, I'm like, I want to stand out a bit. I'm going to do something a little different. So I went with, sort of a thicker smash burger, if you want to call it. It's still smash, but it's a little bit thicker. So you're kind of retaining a lot of the juiciness of the meat with some different cuts as well. So I used different cuts in the second round than I did in the first. And I think that got me to the next and final round that I also won. But yeah.
What kind of what did you top your burger with? Because that's always the big question. What is going to top the burger?
Yeah. So look, I mean, I've seen a lot of the burgers in the competitions in the past, and I think what I've noticed is that height is very important in Dallas, right? In Dubai, I think the difference is that it's simple always works. So really, really good sauce with a few ingredients that kind of complement the meat, and you don't really want to take away from the flavor of the meat, was sort of my strategy. But I did add a few things towards the end. I mean, caramelized onions. The sauce was really special. It had some very unique ingredients. I also created my own bacon jam as well.
Wow.
So that would also add another flavor profile that really worked for me.
Bacon jam is one of those things that people just love.
Yeah.
It is such a creative addition because while it can add savory, it can add sweet, it can add smoky, it can give you a little bit of everything and really give you a depth in your burger. What is the food scene in Dubai like? You mentioned that their burgers are a big deal. What's the overall vibe of the food scene there?
Well, look, Dubai is a melting pot of every single nationality that you can think of, people from all over the world. So you'll find every kind of cuisine that exists. But, ultimately, everybody wants a good burger. So even though you'll see, Chinese restaurants, Indian restaurants, Sri Lankan restaurants, Italian, French, Lebanese, everywhere, right? But burgers. Everybody, when the weekend comes, everybody wants a good burger. And they're always full, especially the good ones. And so, for this burger competition to happen in Dubai, it brought a huge crowd together and the energy was just incredible. It really is the thing that people always love, a good burger.
So how did this burger competition come to be? What was when did you first hear about it? What brought it into play?
So Cucina del Sol, that is sort of a food incubator, kind of brings the food scene together with multiple events. I've done a few events with them from my supper club focus as well. Just made an announcement. We're looking for the best burger in Dubai. Who's up for a competition? We're being sponsored or supported by the World Food Championship in Dallas. The winner gets to have this. And it happened during Ramadan. So Ramadan is a month in the Middle East region that's quite quiet in a sense that, people don't really go out as much. It's a little bit, slow. And so
Hmm.
all of a sudden, in this, kind of slow month in a way, this exciting event was popping up, and people were looking forward to have some fun with it, and that was also part of the reason that I jumped on it.
And man, having fun was definitely the name of everything that I saw. From the videos I watched, the pictures I saw, it was an electric crowd. Everybody was excited. It looked packed. Like there were people everywhere. And what I thought was really fun is you had a lot of coverage. Like there were people there just talking about it, talking about what was happening, what they were seeing, what flavors they were thinking that they were going to taste and come through. It was such an exciting burger event. Is that something that they're looking to do on a regular basis? Start more food competitions?
Yes, absolutely. So I spoke to Tariq and Ola from Cucina del Sol because obviously we're planning our trip together to come to
Hmm.
Dallas, and the burger competition is going to be a staple for us. Every year they will repeat it, and they're looking at other similar events as well. I don't have more information, but I know that there's more things to come to leverage, the WFC platform and bring some of the talent that we have here to your end as well. So
I mean, and just to saying, we have 10 categories. So I think there's 10 opportunities to
yeah,
do some pretty exciting things there. You mentioned that you and them are getting ready for your trip to Dallas. Have you guys been to the States before?
I mean, I studied in the U.S. I did my a year of boarding school, and then my undergrad for university, and all of it was in Boston and Massachusetts. So I'm more familiar with the East Coast. But
Hmm.
I've been to Dallas, I've been to Houston, I've been to Austin, I've been to parts of Texas on weekends, sort of, yeah. So but I haven't really explored the food scene of Dallas, to be honest, right? And that's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, the Dallas food scene is fantastic, and we're going to have some great opportunities to do that. While we're there, we're already setting up some different things. The food scene is such a spread, like you said. It's kind of like you said there. It's got everything, but of course, Tex-Mex and Mexican vibes are very, very strong there. But we're looking to have an absolute blast with just diving into that food culture that's there as you prepare to come to Dallas, and you're going to walk into Kitchen Arena for the first time, and you're going to see the 30 mirrored cooking stations. Like, do you have some anticipation building about what that might be like?
I mean, I'm a little bit nervous, also excited. I've seen some of the videos from prior WFC events, and
Hmm.
I mean, it looks super, super exciting. I'm just trying to, get my head around, or I mean, I'm trying to put my competitive hat on as well, because obviously I'm going in to compete, but I'm also looking forward to having some fun and enjoying all the different food that's being presented there. So, yeah.
I think one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is you go in there and you're up against 30 teams in your category, and there are 30 teams in the other 9 categories. You walk out of there with this food sport family, these people that you've met that will become lifelong relationships. Like every year I go back, because I've been there several years now, every year I go back, it's like this family reunion. Everybody's getting together. Oh, how are you doing? And we follow each other on social media, or we text and we call and we things like that. I think what's going to be fantastic about this year with such a global influence is all of us are going to have a much more, world centric view of a food sport family, and really walk away with incredible relationships, incredible business opportunities. And that's a big one. Is the World Food Championships is basically an incubator for careers in food that expand past just the restaurant itself. Those are some exciting opportunities I could see you guys getting into while you're at World Foods as well, meeting the different sponsors and companies that are there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely actually one of the big outcomes of, our small Dubai competition was the network that we were able to build, and the friendships that we made along the way. And I mean, to your
Hmm.
point, I think at the WFC level, it's definitely something that I'm really looking forward to. So, yeah.
Do you have any anxiety or any nerves about going up against 29 other teams in the burger category?
Yeah, I mean, I do a little bit. I mean, obviously I had some fears going into the Dubai one because, as I said, burger wasn't
Hmm.
my thing. But I was really looking at the fun side of it as I went in. So I think the fun and the friendships and the people that I'll meet along the way kind of trumps the anxiety piece. So I'm hoping that will continue to play out for me because I'm just super excited to be there.
I think it will. Even though you're competing against these teams, they are so welcoming and warm and love competition with people. And I mean, I've seen people drop a spatula and the competitor next to him go, here, I have an extra one, like take this. They couldn't find a product they were looking for and this competitor had extra, so they gave it to him. So I think you're going to find this is a wildly competitive but incredibly friendly environment. And there's tons of education opportunities, tons of opportunities like that. So I think you're going to have a blast. Fun, totally got that covered. Dallas food scene, we're totally going to have that covered too and have a good time. Now, tell us more. You mentioned it, and I really, really love the Underground Supper Club. Tell us more about your Underground Supper Club.
So it's essentially a supper club that happens twice or three times a week. It's underground because it actually happens at my own home.
Wow.
People book through Instagram. We have a limited number of seats, usually 12 to 14. We've been doing it for the past 3.5 years. And I could say that we've reached a very good position in Dubai in terms of our brand and what we do as Tanos at 8. It's mainly a Mediterranean cuisine, so you'll have Spanish, Italian, French. That's kind of the focus from a food perspective, and people really love it because you get to meet other people on the same table. So Dubai is a
Mhm.
very fast-paced city, and what the Supper Club does is it brings people together that have never met before and gives them a chance to connect. So what starts off as a little bit awkward at the beginning of a dinner, they end up as best friends as they're done with the supper club itself, right? So I think that's the beauty of it. Plus the food, of course.
Of course. I mean, if the food is what brought everybody together,
Yeah,
but then it's that universal language of food that binds people. And I think that's one of the things that I'm so fascinated with when it comes to the Supper Club is it really takes food back to its traditional base, which was a family getting around a table and eating. And when you take food and you take strangers, that is the quickest icebreaker you can ever have,
yeah.
is to give people amazing food to talk about together. And you're right. They come out of the other side as this new best friends family set, and they're exchanging numbers and social medias and that. What is the Instagram handle for your supper club?
It's Tanos at 8, so that's TANOSAT number 8. Tanos at 8. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to check that out. And, we've got just a matter of weeks before you guys are going to be boarding, packing up, deciding what you're going to bring, double checking, triple checking, quadruple checking that you have everything. And, we're really excited to see your team set up, get there, and what you're going to produce. One last question.
hmm
What is your favorite protein blend for a burger?
Oh, that's a great question. Uh, I would say, should I tell you what I used in my final in Dubai?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what I went with was a oxtail, which is a very
No. Wow.
very unique cut. That's why
It is.
my burger was called a bull burger because of the oxtail
Mm-hmm.
itself, right? So the oxtail, brisket,
Wow.
and then the last was sirloin. So it's those three cuts. I think two of those are pretty expensive cuts,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the flavor that came out was really special.
Absolutely. The more you talk about it, the more I'm just thinking about those flavors melding together and just the richness of it. And that sounds Phenomenal. Well, I have no doubt you are going to represent Dubai extremely well at the World Food Championships. And guys, if you haven't already, on Facebook and Instagram, like the World Food Championships and follow. Also, if you haven't done this to this point, with being this close to the big event, the 10th anniversary, you need to regularly be checking in at www.worldfoodchampionships.com because there are more updates coming out daily. We're just putting up things like the schedule of events. These are things you're going to want to key in on, whether you're a competitor, whether you're looking to buy tickets to an event, because there are going to be more events for the public than have ever been at a World Food Championships. So bookmark and check in with the website regularly. And I've got to say, Sultan, this has been spectacular. I loved hearing about your supper club, how that competition came together, and I am going to keep a close eye from the stage and maybe down around your kitchen about what you guys produce in the burger category. Congratulations on such a huge win.
Thank you, Mark. It's been my pleasure, and hopefully we'll have you visit us in Dubai too.
I absolutely look forward to it. I want to make it to one of your food competitions because I think that would be incredible.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Well, guys, that's been another episode of Food Sports Central, the podcast of the World Food Championships. Remember, caring is sharing because everybody wants to keep up with their food sport family. We'll see you next week.